Hello financial investors and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to go ahead and do our stock market weekly recap for the 27th through the 31st of July 2020. That was the very last week of July. Here we are now in August. Happy August with 4 months remaining here in 2020. It's really just a flip of the coin to how the rest of the market or how the rest of the year will actually kind of play out. This week we had lots of companies that didn't do so well, but the FANG stocks picked it up with Google, Amazon, Apple, Facebook all pushing the NASDAQ higher and kind of keeping the S&P 500 afloat. So that is what we're going to go ahead and cover today. Just the 4-minute indexes. Go and take a look at the entire S&P 500 performance for this past week. Take a look at oil, the dollar, silver, gold, bonds, and wrapping it up by taking a look at mortgage rates. So just a quick recap. I like to do these on a week-to-week basis to kind of keep track of the market, what exactly is going on out there. And if you are brand new to my channel, go ahead, go down below, subscribe to the channel. If you do enjoy this video, find it helpful, entertaining, definitely give this video a thumbs up. And if you have any comments or questions, drop them into the comment section below, and let's go ahead and get into the video. So right off the bat, on the 31st of July 2020, there's roughly 32 million individuals out there still receiving unemployment benefits. And this all just ended here on the 31st of July. So that $600 weekly federal aid payment that they were getting for being unemployed or just jobless is now expired. So that is a ton of individuals out there. And of course, I thought this was a very interesting share. I saw this over on Snapchat that there's 53% of restaurants out there who were listed on Yelp that were open on March 1st, but due to where they are at now with the pandemic and the whole illness going about, they have now permanently closed. So that's very crazy, and it just continues to still happen. There's continuing to see. I've actually seen permanent store closures here in the local city, so it's pretty crazy to kind of see the effect of the market. And the biggest announcement this week that I believe, besides the earnings, was that Apple is going to be doing a split. So they're going to be giving you 4 shares for every 1 you have. I didn't put a space there. So if you have, 10 shares of Apple, multiply that by 4, and you're going to have 40 shares of Apple. If Apple is worth $400 at the time of the split, you will have say you had 1 share at $400, you'll just get split 4 ways. So you'll have 4 shares of $100, which will, the equity wise, the value of it will still be worth $400. You will just have 4 shares of that value. So this is actually going to be making it a lot easier for options. So now you don't have to have 100 of those $400 shared priced Apple stocks. All you need to do is have 100 of those $100 price Apple stocks, and then you can go ahead and do options. You can do call options, you can do all sorts of fun stuff. So that's a very nice move there by Apple, and I know a lot of investors are really looking forward to it. So let's go ahead and jump into the indexes. So right off the bat, the S&P 500 here this week positive by 1.73%. You can see a huge spike here. This is in the after hours after earnings. Thursday was the biggest earnings this week with Apple, Facebook, Amazon. I didn't post it on this page. There's a lot of things I wanted to post this week. I even forgot last week's recap posted on my Facebook page, so I didn't have that available. I also didn't have the earnings that we shared in the last video. So a couple things here, but on Thursday, this would have been the opportune time to buy at that market bottom here on Thursday morning. And as the morning or the day progressed, just take a look at that quick recovery in the after hours. We had many companies out there from Facebook, Tesla, Amazon, Apple, Google, all report really great earnings and procking up that market here. Basically, going back towards here almost new time high. So we have a current high within the S&P 500 of 3,394, and that is only about 120 points away. So not too much longer. You can see here, this week we went up 25, or today just alone 25 here. So on a week by week basis, let's see here, we went up about 60 or so points this week. So depending on how the next following week goes, we'll kind of see how this kind of plays out. And the rest of the market here, the Dow Jones doesn't have all the FANG stocks in it. The biggest company that it has this week here is Apple. In a single day, Apple put on 10.46%. But you can see the rest of the companies here within here, if they're not tech, Cisco's tech, Disney, they're in entertainment now with the streaming service. Oil, interesting to kind of see oil. IBM, I've seen IBM kind of do semi-decent, but the rest of there pretty negative this week. I know MMM, Triple M, 3M, I got everything wrong there, but 3M did pretty bad this week. I see a lot of investors, thinking about selling. They had bought at 160, they bought at 155, and on Friday it hit, I believe, 149. I know it was right there at 149, 150. So they're really thinking about kind of selling it off. And I told them, what was the whole reasoning behind buying it? Has anything changed? Market conditions are definitely in effect here, but the Dow Jones overall didn't have the same going for them on Thursday. The biggest move here was Apple within the Dow Jones, and that couldn't keep them afloat this week. So they are negative. This is the only ETF or the only index that is negative this week by negative 0.16%. The Dow Jones is still negative for the year at negative 7.39. Now the best performer this week was the Nasdaq at a positive 3.69%. So take a look at this here. FANGs, all the companies here, this actually looks tiny in comparison to this. This looks very nice upwards trend. It had a bit of a, what's going to happen here in the market. But this is all kind of, this looks like it's nothing just because of how much it spiked here on Thursday and Friday. Big moves there, putting on 1.5% alone on Friday, with those tech companies just blasting the earnings. Then we have the Russell 2000 coming in here at a 0.88% difference there with the 5-day change, even after they lost 1% on Tuesday, 1% on Friday, and a little over 0.25% there on Thursday. They still did a massive upswing on Wednesday. That alone right there put them pretty positive for the week, and then Thursday, Friday kind of gave some of it back. So they did not have the same going for them as the S&P or the Nasdaq, just because they don't have those large cap tech companies within there. Now taking a look at stock futures, pretty positive at the moment. I don't see any reason for the futures to be negative at this current point. Going into this upcoming week, I do think the market's going to continue to go off this past week's earnings and be pretty positive, especially with these FANG stocks. And this is a big headline here. Americans are spending, the government wants individuals to spend to put money back in the hands of working Americans and such. For every dollar passes on 5 to 10 individuals in a I forgot what it's called, like the lifeblood of money or something like that. But who knows how long this is kind of going on, especially with the unemployment no longer kind of getting there. I saw Jeremy make a video on Amazon and Apple this past week and kind of talking about how they just overperform by billions of dollars. And that's just Americans out there who got their stimulus checks of $1,200. They, instead of putting it to something that was useful, they went out, maybe purchased a new toy for themselves instead of putting it to work for them, or paying off some debt that would benefit them, or starting some investments. I have seen a large amount of investment accounts getting started during this downturn and with the stimulus money kind of going off. So there are some individuals out there who are making some good moves, but a lot of them are just spending in the wrong direction. Now, here is the entire S&P 500 for this week. Now, right off the bat, what stands out here is the FANG stocks. Facebook up a whopping 9.95%. Amazon up 5.18. Apple's a beast this week, up 14.73%. Then we have Netflix over here, 1.75, Nvidia 4.12, Microsoft 1.84, and Google was the only negative this week, down 1.34%. But Google's, I think Google's actually been kind of one of the lesser of the FANG stocks, less performance. Now, if you look at the rest of the market, it was very mixed. Not any one sector was very strong. There were some companies within each sector. You saw Visa, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, whereas on the other side, MasterCard, Bank of America, PayPal, all positive. Healthcare, Johnson & Johnson was down, but Pfizer and Merck were positive with Eli Lilly and such. It's very mixed out there in the market. And industrials just hammered overall. It looks like Turner Electric there, down 11.52%. Aerospace, energy, both of them are negative this week. REITs actually pretty positive. I think they were pretty positive in my portfolio. My real estate investment trusts were some of the best performers this past week, Procter & Gamble. So household defensive. Look at all those companies in there. The only ones that didn't do well were, I forgot, Newell. I don't know the brand there at the bottom, NWL and Coty. Those didn't seem to do so well, but the rest of them, such as Clorox, Kimberly-Clark, Colgate, Procter & Gamble, all did really well there. So quick snapshot there. If you guys want to go ahead and pause the video, take a look at the sectors here. They all did pretty mixed out there, and the FANG stocks kind of holding up this market. Now, oil this week kind of pulled back here. They went forward quite a bit last week here. They had a high. Wow, that is a huge high of $106, and now they're at 29. Anyways, so 5-day change this week down 1.22%. The dollar is continuing to get weaker and weaker and weaker week after week after week as more money is being pushed out there into, just the economy overall, and seems to be devaluing the worth of the dollar there. So at one point, the dollar was at a high of around $99. So 52 was $102.99. And over the past, I think it's maybe 2 months or so, this dollar has just been going further and further and further down to the negative. So weaker dollar is making it, you're paying more dollars for your products and goods out there, products and services. Silver and gold continue to fly high. I think there's a lot of FOMO going on right now with what's going on out there in the market. And investors or speculators are jumping into gold, they're jumping into silver, they're jumping into FANG stocks, regardless of where they're at right now. I think who knows what will happen, but generally when there is a lot of FOMO and there's a lot of cash that's being made, a lot of investors are going to throw their money into something and watch that correct by, say 10%. Maybe not right now, but again, if you're making 6% on a weekly basis and 2 or 3 weeks from now you're up 20% and it pulls back 10%, you're still up 10%. Well, a little bit around there, but gold also up this week, 3.82%. Year-to-date gold is slightly behind silver, but not by much, up 29.83%. Bonds are moving up at a 0.3% basis. They also just went ex-dividend they're going to be going ex-dividend on the 3rd of August, which is this Monday. So if you hold this within your portfolio to kind of give you some bond exposure, you're going to go ahead and receive 15 cents per share paid out to you on the 4th. Well, it'll be, it'll be recorded on the 4th and then paid out to you here in the future. Now that 10-year rate is still going lower. It was around 0.63% 2 weeks ago, and it was at 0.56, I believe, last week, and now it's at 0.54. So the 10-year yield is dropping here. I forgot what the lowest has been on the 10-year yield, but this is one of those warning signs kind of flashing that's got a lot of investors kind of looking at the market that it could correct here in the upcoming months, especially with it going towards the end of the year where the big money begins to kind of pull out of the market a little bit, rearrange their portfolios, remove money from these companies that have been doing high flying and kind of move it back into maybe some financials, maybe some real estate investment trusts, some industrials. We might see some money get moved around here in the upcoming months. And then we had mortgage rates fall, actually below where they were at previously. I believe the last low was a 3.31, 3.32. It is now at 3.3, so this is one of the lowest points it has been in quite a while here. And that is essentially our weekly recap. I thought I just posted the change here for the week to do like a quick recap, but I may not have. Oh, there it is. Okay, so here's our stock market changes for the week. Everything's right there on the board, and I'm just going to go ahead and take a quick snapshot of this and also throw it in there. That way, if you ever want to take a look at how the week had done, you can always jump back into the Facebook post here for this specific week and take a look at that snapshot there that is provided by finviz.com. So there we go. We will be able to take a look at this next week and kind of do our forward-looking weekly recap. So that is going to be it for today's video, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. Let me know down in the comment section below what are you thinking about this upcoming market this week? Do you think this week will be positive? Do you think it will be negative? Why? And have you bought into any of the FANG stocks since they have been rising? I haven't actually picked up any FANG stocks. I haven't sold anything in quite a while. I told myself I was going to be selling some AbbVie. So AbbVie is now at $94.91. I believe I took some profits at 98. That was quite a while ago, maybe a couple weeks. So that is going to be it for today's video. Thank you all for tuning in. Remember to hit that blue button below and subscribe to the channel. Thank you all for tuning in. I will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye.